Hey guys, Miranda Manticos here, psychic channeler for Divine Feminine Collective, spiritual teacher. I just wanted to share something that I feel like could be helpful to those who are ready. So yesterday was the anniversary of the day that I met my husband, okay? And so every year we celebrate this day as an anniversary day. And it was years before we got married, so it really is kind of like for a long time was our anniversary day. So it's always been super special to us and still is. So we kind of have 2 anniversaries every year. But something came up about this angelically. We really had an amazing dinner, and we met an amazing man at dinner that was like our waiter for the night. We had such a great visit with him. It was just such an awesome experience. But it led me to a message that I feel like some who are listening might be ready for, okay? And that is for those who are still looking for their partner in life, right? Or waiting for their partner in life. And this could be like, even if you have had a partner before, right? Like maybe you were married before or in a long-term relationship before, but now you're single and you're just like not sure what's going to happen, or maybe you've waited a long time, or maybe you're just not sure where this is going to lead. And by the way, side note, I'm doing a detox foot bath while I'm talking to you guys. Okay, so I'm going to try to show you. So hold on, I'm going to pause it, okay? You got to look and see how crazy this stuff looks. Can y'all see it? Oh my goodness, look. Look at what's coming out. Ah! So gross. So we do these in the spa for clients who want to detox and clean their body. And I do it periodically for me, my husband, and my children. So it has been a long time. So I'm like, yeah. A friend of mine, Shay, she posted her foot bath. She lives out of state from here, but she posted her foot bath that she got done a couple weeks ago. And I was like, it's time. Anyway, this thing is amazing. So this is pretty cool. So I figured I'll do 2 things at once. I'll make this video for you guys and get my foot detox bath going on. It uses salt, by the way, and ionization to purge contaminants from your feet, which, if you know anything about reflexology, your face, feet, and hands are so important because they touch every energy center of the body. So believe it or not, you can do a lot of good from detoxing from the feet, and it affects the whole body. So I've done these foot baths on myself for years, and I definitely always feel a difference. So, okay, back to the topic. I pulled out my beautiful little rose quartz. Isn't it great, you guys? It's a heart. And I use it a lot in my crystal sessions when I work with clients through crystals and meditation. And it's just such a loving, peaceful energy, okay? So you're ready for love, right? So I want to bring you back to the day that I met my husband, just so you can understand where I was at and what actually aligned in my life to bring love into my life, okay? So if you're looking for love, you're ready for a partner, this story could be helpful to you. So I was married before I met my husband. I went through a long marriage, very difficult marriage. And because of the way I was brought up and the religion that I was raised in, I really didn't believe in divorce. I just held on to the last, right? Till it almost was injuring me. Probably was injuring me, and I didn't even realize it. So I just kept trying to make it work, right? Which is really, kind of a thought pattern. Does that make sense? That I had to deconstruct within myself to set myself free of that marriage and get on with my life and move into what actually was supposed to be my life, okay? But just to give you like a little quick summary of this, imagine I'm coming out of a terrible divorce, hard marriage. Didn't have any children from that marriage, but still it was so hard, you guys. And I'm still healing at this point, right? And a friend of mine gave me a hotel stay in New Orleans. She was actually going to go for the weekend and just have like a girls' weekend with her daughter, but they couldn't do it. So she gave me the room and said, "Why don't you go, Miranda?" She said, "You've been through so much." She had just been through the divorce with me. She had watched me go through all of the ups and downs and all the struggle of it, right? Of letting go. And I always called her my angel, and she always called me her angel. And literally, we've always been each other's angel. But she gave me this room, and she's like, just go take a break, get away for the weekend. If somebody can, maybe one of the girls can go with you, or just go by yourself. And she's like, it's going to help. I have a feeling. So I said, okay. So I go. And by the way, for those who know me on a personal level, I am not a city girl. I don't usually go to the city ever, even with my husband, but much less by myself. So when I decided to do this, I was like, you know, what I'm going to do is I'll get to the room and I will order some food in the room. I'm not going to go out at night in New Orleans by myself. I'm just not going to do it. And then I will make sure I eat during the day so that I can be back in the hotel room by evening. So that's how like shy I am of the city. So anyway, so I had been through, I had dated several people just very briefly before I met my husband at this point. All of them were just problem, right? It was like, oh God, what is going on out here in the world, in the dating world? And it was kind of discouraging because I was like, is there not anybody out there that knows how to be like in a real relationship, you know? But I just had this feeling that everything was going to be okay, even though it was really hard for me and I couldn't see like the forest for the trees, you know? So, and my husband and I talk about this like all the time. I actually got invited to a party that night. As I was checking into the hotel, there was some like, I don't know, some kind of VIP event like right next door. And the host invited me and I was like, no, thank you. I'm just going to stay in. Okay. And I really think that was like my angels because there would be no distractions between that moment and the moment I met my husband the next day. Okay. But so just one little thing that I think you guys should hear and remember if you're looking for that someone, okay? Something really important happened that day, and I'll never forget it. I got up that morning. I always jogged, okay? Like every day I would jog, and I love jogging. Still do. And I was praying, and even in my lost sort of, really kind of a lost, heavy vibration, which was where I was, there was still hope. And I said a prayer and I told God, I said, listen, I'm ready. I'm ready for love. I have spent my youth in an abusive relationship and I'm ready. Okay. And I'm ready to just be happy. I'm ready for love. I'm ready. And I said in this prayer, I'm willing to go wherever it leads me. Now listen, when you say this to the universe, it's going to take you on a wild ride, okay? But that's what happens when you're ready, okay? Because when you tell the universe that you're ready for something, you need to also say, what are you ready to let go of in order to get what you want? This is the real thing, okay? Because the next day when I said this prayer, I went jogging and I saw this little, in New Orleans, we have something called the Warehouse District. And so there's lots of little businesses and restaurants in there. But at night, some of them board up the doors with like these, they look like big barn doors almost. So in the morning when I was jogging, it didn't look like anything. Okay. But I could see like a little small sign that said like pizza and pasta or something. And I was like, okay, maybe that's a restaurant. So later that day, before it got dark, I guess around 3 or 4 in the afternoon, I went walking to go back to that place. Okay. And when I went down the street and got to the place where this restaurant was located, and I'm across the street, if you can imagine, across the street outside the restaurant is standing my husband. And I thought, well, he looks like a nice person. I'm going to go ask him if this is a real restaurant. So thank God he's got a beautiful smile and a gentle soul because I was able to approach him. And I just walked up to him and I said, "Hey, I'm sorry, is this a restaurant? Are you guys open or what is this?" And you guys, from that moment on, we never parted. Okay. And I remember watching him and he was working. So this was like his night job. He had 2 jobs. This was his night job. And I just remember admiring that he was such a hard worker and he was so kind. And we talked for hours and it happened to be slow. I guess it was like in between hours because it wasn't dinner yet. So he could like talk to me. And by the way, long story short, down the road, the owners of that restaurant are very good friends of ours, which were his friends all of his life. And their mother ended up being one of my godmothers. So isn't that funny how the universe works? But anyway, it started a spark, right? Now, my husband was from a completely different religion, a completely different culture, and a completely different state. So when I tell you the universe is going to take you somewhere, when you tell it that you're ready, just know that it is, okay? So it really pushed my boundaries, okay? Like I literally had grown up in a religion that was so high control. I was never allowed to explore other religions. I was never allowed to read books about anything else. I was never allowed to do any of this. And I didn't understand or have the understanding that I could just break free, right? That's why when I talk about like waking up or people waking up, I know firsthand what can happen when you just follow the narrative versus creating the narrative that you want. Okay. So I know what it's like to break free of a mindset. Okay. But basically, I had never seen or explored anything else. Okay. So just going to church with him near about caused me a panic attack. I'm serious. It was so scary for me because it was a whole different world than I had been exposed to. But it was leading to my spiritual awakening. Isn't this interesting? So stepping outside the box meant I had to be willing to go and ready to go. Okay. It also meant that so many in my family fell out of my life because they're in a cult religion that doesn't allow them to be in association with anyone who's really different. Okay. So what was I willing to let go of? Well, apparently I had to let go of everything if I wanted to find my soulmate. Okay. And of course he's my soulmate, right? Because think about it. The other thing that is interesting about soulmates, and you can have many in your lifetime, and they can be platonic and romantic relationships, but your soulmates encourage your growth. They push your boundaries. Okay. I push his boundaries too. So we push each other and we help each other. And he helped me grow by showing me a different way. And it's not because that way, as far as religiously or spiritually, is where I landed, but it was a stepping stone, right? To get me where I needed to go so I could see more. So in a true sense, he catalyzed or launched more of my awakening, which is what a true soulmate does. And I did this for him as well in different ways. Okay. But just to summarize, what you have to be doing to get yourself ready for love. Okay. Heal yourself, see yourself, witness your story, learn from it, come to a place where you are in gratitude of it, even the struggle. And then you're ready. Okay. So if you've been searching for a long time or you're looking for that special someone in your life, you must first witness yourself. Okay. Love yourself. Get yourself there. And then the universe knows you're ready. And then tell it that you're ready, because I had to speak the words. Okay. I said, I am ready. I am ready for love. Okay. So I don't know who needs to hear this. I'm going to hold my little crystal up again because it's so beautiful. You can actually use this crystal for your meditation. Look how beautiful she is. So loving, so gentle. I'll hold it like to the heart. Sometimes I hold it to the head, but whatever is comfortable. If you don't have a nice rose quartz crystal, get one, okay? Because they're amazing. But you can also just tell the universe you're ready for one and watch it come without you doing anything, okay? But if my story helps you, and I hope it does, you need to tell the universe you're ready, but you need to also trust and let go, okay? And I know it's not easy. I do know it, okay? But if you do, you'll be amazed at what is possible. Okay? I love you guys. Oh, you want to see the crazy foot bath? Like, oh my God. Hold on. Let me see. Sorry for the technical switching. I don't have a way to reverse the camera this way, but look. Ew. Major detox going on here. Guys, so gross, but it's necessary. Love you. Bye.